Hello, my name is Reverend Canon and I come to you from St. Paul's Church in Port Dover with a Christmas message. A long time ago, the first Christmas, the angel said, "Fear not." That was a long time ago, as well as today. Last year in our Christmas Eve service reflection, I began with a story about the 1965 Peanuts movie, A Charlie Brown Christmas, which many of you will have viewed this year too. Charlie Brown is best known for his uniquely striped shirt, and Linus is most associated with his ever-present security blanket. Throughout the story of Peanuts, Lucy, Snoopy, Sally, and others all work to no avail to separate Linus from his blanket. And even though his security blanket remains a major source of ridicule for the otherwise mature and thoughtful Linus, he just simply refuses to give it up. There is a secret in the choreography of the movie. When Linus gives a sermon and explains the meaning of Christmas, in that climactic scene, when Linus shares what Christmas is all about, most telling is the specific moment he drops his security blanket, when he utters the words, "Fear not." It is pretty clear what Charles Schulz was saying. It's so simple, it's brilliant. The birth of Jesus separates us from our fears. The birth of Jesus frees us from the habits we are unable or perhaps unwilling to break ourselves. The birth of Jesus allows us to simply drop the false security we have been grasping so tightly and learn to trust and cling to Him instead. Last year, Christmas, we had no idea what we were in for in this year 2020. Having no idea what in just another 3 months we were in for, I said in my sermon, the world of 2019 going into 2020 can be a scary place. Most of us find ourselves grasping to something temporal for security, whatever that thing may be. Essentially, by the month of March 2020, on account of the COVID-19 pandemic, our world became a very difficult place for us to live by the proclamation, "Fear not." But in the midst of fear and insecurity, this simple cartoon image from 1965 continues to live on as an inspiration for us to seek true peace and true security in the one place it has always been and can always still be found. After the epic blanket-dropping recitation of Scripture given by Linus in response to Charlie Brown's quest for meaning, in an anticlimactic scene, Linus picks the blanket back up. Why would Linus pick up that old blanket, so boldly proclaiming an end of fear? Why does he leave the stage with that security blanket still in his hand? We first must realize that we all carry that same blanket. Just like Linus, we may stand tall in a moment of faith and conviction, a moment when Scripture hidden in our hearts come to life, and all else is flung aside as we experience and proclaim the true freedom and security that only Jesus can give. But all too often, at some point and out of habit, we reach down and pick that thing right back up. Faith, while powerful, is also very delicate. Linus clearly knows the truth and clearly proclaims the truth. The knowledge is there, and the wisdom is there, and the passion is there. So why does he pick that blanket back up? The answer is strikingly clear. It is Schulz clearly Schulz clearly knows and portrays in Linus, we all do the same thing. We know, we feel, and we proclaim, fear not. Yet we gaze in the mirror one morning to find that tattered old blanket draped over our shoulder yet again. And we realize that we have become so used to it being there that we hardly ever notice it. But that is not where this blanket story ends. The show ends with the Peanuts gang not just singing, but clearly and unquestionably singing in worship. Even the musical style at this point in the movie is completely different from anything else heard before. The obvious song choice here could have been "O Christmas Tree," the notes of which have already been playing gently in the background. But this is truly not a secular movie, and the focus is no longer the tree. The focus has become far larger than the tree. The focus is now clearly on the reason for Christmas and the birth of Jesus. With this new focus, the kids instead slide effortlessly into singing, "Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King." And what we are now witnessing is essentially an impromptu and blessed worship service. Once again, before any of this happens, the choreography clearly shows us Linus parts with his blanket once again and lays it down for good at the base of that beautiful Christmas tree. Just as we should strive to not just lay down our blanket just anywhere, but this time leave it forever behind at the foot of the cross, for our own good and for the good of others. Linus and friends have moved from speaking truth and hearing truth into a deeper place of worship, where they finally respond to that truth, much like those shepherds who were instructed to fear not so very long ago. It is here, at the end of the show, that Linus lays down that blanket down yet again. And this time, he doesn't look back. There is hope today with the introduction of the first vaccinations against COVID-19. We can once again hear these words and say, "Fear not," knowing these words were spoken years ago by angels to some shepherds in a lonely field, just as they are spoken for us in this difficult time. Today, from St. Paul's Anglican Church in Port Dover, Ontario, we wish you a blessed Christmas and a new year full of hope to come. May God bless you this time and forever. Thanks for listening.